We have plenty of villains in this world, but we have a couple of heroes. And
I'm one of them.
You are
local hero here. Hello.
Where's your nice
local
baby Rays.
Local baby Rays right now. Y'all know me as a local hero though. Hello.
X to doubt. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
You don't make me do it. Okay, fine.
Ronnie boy down in Florida, knowing what to do. I saved this and wanted to just bring it up and talk about it because I think he's definitely. Well, I think he's positioning himself for a presidential run. I think that's pretty obvious at this point. I think he's doing a bang up job down there and keeping things together. And this is just another, keeping taxpayer dollars away to, to teach kids to hate your country and hate each other. And I think this tweet was pretty clear and concise. And I think that's the point. And we were just sort of kind of coming off that with our previous segment. Like what's happening is kids are being taught at a very early age to not respect their parents and to hate the country that they live in. And that is causing this cultural erosion. It's causing people to go on TikTok, self-diagnose with God knows what. And
tinnitus.
I do have tinnitus though.
Excuse me.
Oh, well,
I mean, so do I.
What is it that self-diagnosing with alopecia and bonitis and bonquisha and all of that stuff?
I got bamboozleitis.
Constantly
bamboozled.
I got the swindleitis. This swindle disease.
Can't stop.
Taxitis.
There you go. Yeah. No, I keep breaking out of the taxation. I don't understand why.
What are your guys' thoughts on DeSantis? Are you guys like? I mean, we've talked about him before.
I mean, he's a politician.
Yeah, there's true. There's can't get any really higher than a certain level.
There's that one side of you that's just like, okay, at least you're speaking out against the political norm that is control. But at the same time, you got there somehow,
right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of skeptical. That's why I got this picture. Kind of skeptical.
I mean, he's obviously not going to be afraid to use the government to take the steps that he thinks he wants, which is still, advocating for taxation and stealing money from us and doing things that other people don't necessarily agree with that money. And
right.
That's just something you have to unfortunately accept with politicians because totally different rant that I won't get into right now. But he is taking steps that I can admire, things like not using tax dollars to teach kids to hate each other.
Right.
I am totally behind that. The schools should not be telling kids that they are worse or better than their peers based on anything at all. And that just disgusts me so much. Really,
what I can say is I'm kind of proud though, because Florida man then came up. I mean, at one point in time, he was eating faces and sneaking into sandwich shops, making sandwiches and sleeping in there. Now he's out here being a politician. He really cleaned himself up. I'm proud of him. Shouts out to Florida man.
Yeah, you're right about too. Like politicians are politicians, but with the recent move with Disney and sort of. Essentially,
I've got mixed feelings on that.
Right. And that was one of those things we talked about last week. And I think that was a bit of overreach on his part. So he's not afraid to play politician when he needs to, but he certainly seems like one of the more real down to earth people who seems like he is keyed in on what his what his
kind of has a finger on the pulse.
Right, exactly. And I think that's important. I just wonder how, if he does do a 2024 run, like how does what he's doing now transfer to, the presidency? Like what does that look like? And I don't know.
I mean, if you want my honest answer right now, it scares me how much we focus on the presidency. It really does, because instead of focusing on who's president, you should be focusing who's your mayor, who's on your school board, even who's in your local state representative. I really am not one shouldn't be talking because I have no idea who represents my area for my state Congress, 'cause I have no idea. I do know who the mayor is, and he's a piece of shit, but that's an entirely separate issue again. But and that's I mean, obvious. Well, yeah, there's that point. I can't vote for the mayor either because technically I live just outside of town. But again, that doesn't keep the policies they make from affecting me again. But instead of everybody gets so hyper focused on who's president, when I mean even just stepping down and looking at who's in Congress and who's in the House would be more effective than trying to elect just who's president, because the president really shouldn't have as much power as he's been wielding, which is
way less.
scary. And
my stance is and I'm gonna sound like a parrot in this aspect, but just start with taking down federal government. Just like that, when you give that much I guess control to like one specific group over an entire nation like that, that's very dangerous. Like just get rid of the federal government, take it back down to the state.
Yep.
And once people realize, oh wait, we didn't need this big overlord guy telling us what to do, this, that, and the other, people will start to realize that, okay, maybe I do have a lot more, agency over myself. And then you can take it further down from there. We can get back to a society, a living, I guess you could say, a society where people know that they don't have to look out. They don't have to look to go, daddy government, can you give me a handout kind of thing.
Right.
Just go right back to self-sufficiency. Like we got here somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's
the problem is, I was going to say is the problem is like DeSantis, like right now what he did with Disney is he just removed all of the special privileges that Disney had.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like, oh, this is a horrible overstep of his thing, and he's using his power to shut down somebody's opinion. But all he did was really like look at it and go, whoa, wait, I didn't even realize he said this. I didn't realize that Disney had all these extra benefits. They really shouldn't be having these. So I'm just going to remove them.
I think it's they shouldn't be having these that bothers me, because we should all have those freedoms.
We should, but we don't. And Disney was the only one. So he's like, all right, I'll just take them away from Disney. I do think like everybody should be able to make whatever they want on their property. But we don't live in that world yet. Because we've been pushed down.
I'm about to shut out my window at whatever government politician, whatever is listening. Hey,
it's my money.
Let me do what I want it now. Exactly.
We've been pushed down this like crazy road so far that to even try and go back, we would then have to be doing that, like overstepping our rights to go back, because they've pushed us inch by inch by inch by inch by inch. And now we're 5 miles down the road, and to turn around would be so hard to do. So I think that's like the problem with him. Like whenever he does stuff like that, is it seems like it's a crazy overstep, but we've been overstepped in the other direction so many times that I don't know. It kind of justifies it for me. But I mean, that's like we got to stop playing the game to be, which sucks, to be like principled and upstanding, and we're like, we got to stick with these things because they don't play by those rules, and we can't play against cheaters fairly and expect to win, because they're going to cheat and win, and that's what they're doing. They want to win, so they're going to win, and they're going to do whatever it takes. We saw it happen, whatever it takes to win. So I like with Elon, it's a great step forward to try and mitigate the cheating.
Right.
It's a great step forward. But we do need somebody that'll push the boundaries, kind of like what DeSantis does, is push those boundaries and go, well, let's fucking go this way. Let's not go in that way. I want to go this way. Right. And then, get the criticism, whatever it is. And sure, some of it's probably warranted. But at least we're fighting against that, because I'm sick of getting pushed. And if it's against Disney, fuck them.
That's fair. Look, I can agree there. Disney sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say Disney didn't deserve it. I absolutely.
So many different reasons.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's like to kind of, it all like kind of comes back full circle with Elon and this big move with acquiring Twitter the way he did, because if if he's able to influence Twitter or fix Twitter's like sort of core algorithm and keep like news moving and not just focusing on one side or the other. Now, like someone like DeSantis comes in and actually has like, you know, if he does run good policies, imagine we had this when Trump was in office. Like, I'm not necessarily a fan.
There'd be nobody. Biden wouldn't. He wouldn't even be in the runnings.
He would be gone, dude.
It would just been. I don't know. It's just like so. This is the beginning of the shift, and hopefully stuff like this can influence other people to do something. And I don't know if the answer is like a bunch of billionaires acquiring giant companies. Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think that's it at all.
No,
I don't think there's a lot of billionaire Elons. I think he's a
he's
a lifetime.
I would say
he's not even as great as you know. I mean, he's great on this issue. There's others issues he's not so good on. So
I would say like the next closest billionaire Elon, who isn't even really a billionaire, I guess you could say, would be Keanu Reeves, because the man goes out and does things just because. Like he'll help out.
Yeah,
he like Keanu will go out and do things just because, as opposed to doing something because people want him to, or as opposed to virtue signaling or anything like that. He does things discreetly, and people never know it until somebody else says, "Oh yeah, Keanu did this." He's just like, "Well,
give us all Rolexes for fun," you know? Like,
exactly.
When people do things without and that was a big thing. And I think Jordan Peterson talked about this, about how the reason all of this activism is so bad right now is because it totally takes away from the actions that are happening. Someone puts a mask on their Twitter profile picture, or, you know, all the stuff in public that like, hey, I'm an ally, I'm this, you know, woo. It's like what you're doing you've just totally negated all the goodwill that you put out there.
It's almost like there's a book called the Bible that talks about stuff like this.